Thank you for suffering through my musical intro. I like to do things different around here. I think it's the reason we create. To be different, right? To be our own selves. Not to be like my upper respiratory infection has multiplied. Not to be like everybody else. Hi, I'm Unirock. I take all the crazy things that are going on during the day and I order them up in a really weird way so that I can make a point by the end of the video that I layer through it. Also, we get our topics by just picking any strange topic, but you've been around a while, you probably know, and we filter it through a logical mind. We label what's fact by showing you the source. We label what is circumstantial by showing you that there is no source. And we label what's completely fake by giving you the evidence to prove it. That's what we do here at Unirock. Welcome to my nightly show, The Live Dive. Follow me on Twitter at Unirock TV. PayPal link down below if you like my show and want it to continue. Of course, never donate to any media personality or YouTuber if you can't get by yourself and still save money at the end of the month. We need you here more than we need your money. Also, liking the video, sharing the video, and making sure you're subscribed is what's going to keep my videos coming absolutely free for you. Now, why am I showing you this clip? It's nothing really new. It's nothing really that new. It's just Pamphlet talking about how they're going to become the new InfoWars. Now, it's a little strange because he said this a couple weeks before InfoWars was banned all over the internet. Even their own websites have been having problems. A lot of people think that this is a psyop. This guy. They think it's a psyop. They think that he's set here to actually bring down other YouTubers and truthers that are making, kind of a thorn in the side of the mainstream media. And doesn't that start making a lot of sense when you hear this guy talk?
What to expect.
Busy, the script for tonight is on point. Thank you. This show is massive. Thanks for this awesome script.
So it's been about 2 months since we started taking in donations, and I think I have a pretty solid idea of what we can expect in terms of regular month-to-month income. So it's about time to start spending that money and start improving things. So you'll start seeing some of those improvements soon. I think one of the biggest ones is getting press passes and everything.
Oh, interesting, Pamphlet. Well, I got good news for you. Merk that used to work right next to, well, that's the name he gives me. Who knows what his name is, but the anon known as Merk, who used to work right next to this guy ever since the beginning up until when he left because of the guilt that overwhelmed him from ripping so many people off. He sent me another communication, and I wouldn't be playing this clip if he wasn't talking about exactly what Pamphlet is saying right here. Let's get this over with because I got a lot for you. This is an episode of Red Pill to Pay the Bills, Shillin' Like a Villain, and The Live Dive, all wrapped into one. So I hope you enjoy it. I put a lot of work into this video today. I'd provide more, but it's late over here. I'm about to crash. In fact, I meant to send this early morning, but I forgot. We've been very busy, lots of things to unfold over and over. Luckily, it's been a group effort and coordinated at that. The anonymous group will be putting out some stuff soon. Keep an eye out, and peace. He sent me this. If you haven't heard, NBC has received some of the info on Q happenings and about some of those involved. We read it yesterday. If you haven't seen the video, yesterday's video, NBC doxes QAnons on Unirock 2. It's funny because Mr. Rogers has been threatening Ben Collins at NBC of defamation and harassment. Mr. Rogers and wife don't seem to want anything to do with NBC for an article. I wonder if it's because they know what kind of scammers they are. Their criminal records seem to say a lot about what they're about. Plenty of history out there that will connect the dots, and it's catching up to them. Let me connect something that we've found, says Merk. Shit's gonna get weird, as mentioned previously. In all seriousness, this is very concerning too. Just a bit of a timeline / breakdown. Now, listen. I've been getting communications from Merk ever since I released the first Baker reveal email. It was actually the main focal point, in my opinion, of my full Q identity video that I put on my main channel, Unirock, okay? And He goes in to some... I've never heard Merk get serious like this. He's usually really Chan-like. He always uses Chan slang. He's always like, you know, lulz and lulzors and stuff, and just really, you know, laughing it up and being really lighthearted throughout what he tells me. He got dead serious for the first time since I've been communicating with him in this article, and it did kind of worry me. We got to get serious now. There it is. Ms. Urso, by the way, of a family friend, gets the contact info of somebody over at InfoWars. In the process, she meets Corsi, and they have a regular correspondence. She then is referred to Rob Dew and contacts him in early mid-December of 2017. Pamphlet, or Mr. Rogers, with the help of Mr. Paul Ferber, Baruch the Scribe, call and set up a conference call with the news director. They are set up with interview, which is what gets them the publicity they need to promote their, quote, brands. Now, if you all remember, I showed you the QAnon timeline in my video, QAnon Identity Revealed on Unirock, and you can see that they were given their audience from InfoWars. They were basically handed an audience because of the interview on InfoWars. Rogers and Ferber, along with the rest of us. So yes, my friend here was present when they spoke to InfoWars. He was there. He was there. Where were we at? Rogers and Ferber, along with the rest of us, start to plan our talking points for InfoWars, and in the process, some heated topics and stuff comes up between all of us, but especially with Baruch. We were getting sick of his ego. Dr. Corsi and Mr. Rogers hit it off. Behind the scenes, they plan out their self-promotional efforts and commit to helping each other more. Email communications continue, and many of us involved are unaware of this. I never understood the significance of the picture I got with Dr. Corsi at a bar, Pamphlet beside him, holding up a mug of beer and dinging it while they took the picture, Pamphlet and Corsi. Reportedly done well before they pretended to meet each other. That's whether or not you believe it, though. Dr. Corsi and Rogers hit it off. Oh, I read that. The InfoWars interview takes place that December. Rogers was hoping to talk to AlexJones and gets pissed because the interview isn't with him. He hears some negative details on the impressions AlexJones had about Ferber. Rogers realizes that Ferber is damaging the brand. Basically, this email is going to tell you why they kicked out Baruch the Scribe. But even worse, it's going to confirm some of my suspicions. Let's keep going. Rogers and Ferber disagree on the direction for Q and the board, and Rogers is fed up with Ferber's egotistical comments to others and the negative attention he's bringing to the Q group. Ferber's book deal and efforts get leaked out via Rogers. Surprise! This makes the Anons on the board furious, and it splits up the group, and Ferber is pushed out. Remember that Trojan horse I told you about? With the new board in place, more members are brought in. Tracy distances herself some because she starts to see negative attention that it's bringing her. She also distances herself from the members and the Reddit board. With all the communications and planning with Corsi, Ms. Urso registers for an LLC called Citizen Journalism Network LLC. Now, this is back in March. Interesting. This is the start of a bigger plan that is suggested by Pamphlet. The fix was in, and here's the kicker. They wanted to break off to form their own InfoWars. I'm not lying. It's all right there. Corsi asks Rogers to get his followers to push his book, Killing the Deep State, on the stream. He wants to get it up to #1 on Amazon, and he succeeds. So in return, Dr. Corsi offers guest appearances, fake Q decodes on the live stream, and a promise of more airtime on InfoWars and to get him in contact with AlexJones himself, but this never happens. Rogers, Pamphlet, in return, promises Corsi with help to build Corsi's stream with the help of Brainstorm, Serial Brain. They continue to help him, in fact. They also create other streams to bring in more money, and they set up their own Patriot website. As everything expands accordingly, Rogers and Corsi attend a conference/dinner hosted by InfoWars. It is here that AlexJones really pisses Pamphlet off. Not exactly sure why, but rumors are that Alex wanted Q to bring up InfoWars in the Q drops and to present Q as one of Alex's connections or something like this. Now, you hold the front door. And listen, I want to interject. Do we have evidence to prove that that's true? Rachel, will you give me my Star Wars hat when you walk by? It's on the couch. Do we have evidence to back up the fact that Jones wanted us to believe that Q was his inside source, that he could communicate with him? Remember now? Do we have evidence for that? We have massive evidence for that. Do you recall back when Corsi and them all, Jones and them all started working on this whole thing? We were all kind of like, why is he bringing in this Zach Anon guy acting like he's some super secret Anon? Remember where Zach Anon came from? Now, everybody said that it was like Corsi was trying to show, I keep getting Corsi and Jones mixed up in my head. Everybody said that it was like Jones was trying to legitimize his connection to QAnon, and it made perfect sense. Now, this is probably the disconnect. This is probably that piece of information that's been left out of a lot of our heads, if you get what I'm saying. Because we're wondering, like, you got so much exposure from InfoWars. Why not, keep working with them? Why not work it and do it, and make it happen? Well, that's Corsi's job. But Jones himself is like, look, if you want to get with me, man, which will get you a massive more audience than you already have, then you're just going to have to let me be inside one of the Q drops. You got to get me some exposure. And they wouldn't do it. Now, doesn't that tell you a lot? Isn't that very telling? It's almost like, and beg my pardon for saying this, please. It's almost like AlexJones knew that Pamphlet was Q way back then.
Some actual reporting done by us, people, all of you, all of us out there actually doing some in-the-field reporting and not just reporting on the reporting of other people, actually doing it firsthand and turning this into a real organization, real news organization covering firsthand news. That's going to be great. Can we get a SAT truck?
I needed to play just a little bit of that. I want you to understand what the kind of... Now, I want that that's just complete bullshit. InfoWars has teams of people, just like the MSM does, go out all over to all these different events, all these other things to take Dean Worthy, and they actually are on the ground reporting. InfoWars, like AlexJones and his antics, what really got me about the ban, AlexJones is only one part of InfoWars. He just goes and does a show. Then you've got Rob Dew doing his show, Owen Schwarrier doing his show, David Knight doing his show. All these guys are doing different things, saying different things. It was so strange to see that they knocked down all of AlexJones' channels that were labeled or InfoWars branded, especially when it's almost like Schroyer and the War Room and all that are completely different. Wouldn't they have to strike them too with different examples if they're being fair? But to get even more dubious and devious with this, take a listen at what I'm about to tell you. Hey, Pam. Nice hanging out with you again. Like I said, Rogers, or Pamphlet in return, promises Corsi with the help to build Corsi's stream. As everything expands accordingly, Rogers and Corsi attend the conference dinner. After the event, Rogers and Corsi plan a new direction. I missed the most important part. Let me just go back one paragraph. As everything expands accordingly, Rogers and Corsi attend a conference/dinner hosted by InfoWars. It is here that AlexJones really pisses off Pamphlet. Not exactly sure why, but rumors are that Alex wanted Q to bring up InfoWars in the actual drops to present Q as one of Alex's connections or something like this. This is very significant. There is evidence to back that up. And you can go watch Alex from back then when he's talking favorably about Q. He's acting like he's talked to him. He says he's talked to him. He has the inside source. This was a big red flag back then for all of us because we all thought Pamphlet was Q. We know that Pamphlet talked to Jones, and now Jones is saying he knows Q right after he talks to Pamphlet. All this is strange. The weirdest part is they were supposed to go on InfoWars and give them something because InfoWars gave them an audience. The trend multiplied by what some people say 1,800% in just a week after they went on InfoWars. I don't know if that number's true or not. Those things are hard to determine, but I do know it jumped like that. That's when the trend took off. That's when you realized who Q was, but for the most part. Unless you were here from the very beginning, that's normally where everyone came in. And Jones gave that to them. He was like, yeah, let's get you on. Let's have you on a few times. And the views were massive. The hype was already building. It was what propelled it in. And you know, when that kind of thing happens, now it's like, yo, Q, you owe me now. You owe Jones a little bit because we gave you this. And I can see all this unfolding, playing out. It's almost like you could see it happening back then without even knowing it, just by their attitudes and actions and how they all acted shortly after. All right. Rogers wasn't having any of that, and he didn't like that he was getting enough limelight or attention, that he wasn't getting enough limelight or attention. Pamphlet wanted more limelight, wanted more attention. He wanted more before he would give InfoWars a prop in the Q drop. I'm getting poetic over here. No, I don't want my diary. I don't have a diary, Busy. I don't have a diary. I don't write poems. Why are you telling people that? Have you been drinking a lot already? It's too early for you to be drunk. God, I don't have a diary. After this event, Rogers and Corsi plan a new direction. This is where the fake fight starts up and the split. Also, AlexJones was in on this too, to some extent. Basically, I think, and this is just my opinion, basically, we don't know, so you got to have your own opinion here. I think it was innuendo. So what do I mean? I mean that I think they went and looked at Alex and said, we can get you in the Q posts. You get what I'm saying? I don't think they came straight out and said, yo, we post it. But I think they convinced him that they knew either who Q was or that they could post his Q, one of the two. And I think that Alex realized that, and he's like, yeah, I know what he's trying to say. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, look, if you don't want to be complicit in something, a lot of criminals work off innuendo like that. It's almost like a body language. It's almost like a unspoken word type deal. But I do think that's what happened. Now, some people think they just came out, both talked, and set this whole thing up. But anyway, it really interests me to see that Merk, who is someone that was there from 21 Jump Street all the way up until he left a few months back when I got the Baker reveal email. It's really interesting to see that he was thinking the same thing I was thinking the whole time and not even speaking to me. It really is, because this is the logical place to go in this situation. This is to keep Corsi's hands clean if something goes wrong. Now, Merk and a lot of other people are saying that Pamphlet and Corsi have been buddy-buddy the whole time. They never had a fight. That the profiteering post, which I told you, it almost seemed like somebody, because I used to think there was probably 5 different people that could post on the Q posts. That way Pamphlet doesn't have to be on screen anymore. You know, he doesn't have to say, I got to go to the bathroom every time Q posted like it was in the beginning. Or I'm going to go take a nap and then Q post. So he got a few people that he knew he could trust in on the scam. And I thought it was about 5 people, right? So basically the profiteering post, I thought one of them got mad and said, I'm going to put out this post that says no one is to make any money off of Q, and if you are not part of the movement. I thought one of their friends stabbed him in the back, tried to rectify the damage they'd done by putting out the profiteering post, but really it was a big drama staged thing. And that makes sense. I wouldn't believe Merk, okay? I wouldn't believe that the profiteering post was just this drama thing, because Corsi lost like 20,000 subs, lost a bunch of donos. No one would be okay to take that kind of chance when he had the money train rolling. I think, though, that it makes perfect sense now, because a few days ago, Jerome Corsi said he was going to be decoding Q drops, but you could only hear his decoding if you paid him on Gab to listen. And it almost was like, holy shit, Merk was freaking right, man. Because he alluded to this in the last email. Okay. To keep course, he's hands clean. There was this fake fight with the Profiteering Post to take the plan in a new direction, just in case something went wrong. He also tells Urso, who is Radix, to change the name of the company because it's too telling. Ms. Urso registers the Patriot Soapbox LLC as their new business. Their plan is to take down Alex and now become the new InfoWars. And they eventually get some Anons to start reporting InfoWars for violations on media platforms. I think now if I was at InfoWars and there was that crazy dude Unirock over there, and I'm going to message Rob Dew about this. I just need to think about it. I always take a little bit of time to think. If one of the people that used to work with him, who still knows one of the guys next to Pamphlet really well and communicates with him, right? If he tells me this suspicion that I've had all along, that yes, this is some kind of weird reversed infiltration of a big group of conspiracy-minded people that support the president to get them to look foolish and not be taken seriously by people, while at the same time taking down InfoWars, instigating a censorship revolution throughout YouTube and the internet now. And then, you know how these guys work. They send their Anons to go do a bunch of mass flagging and mass reporting. If I was at InfoWars, I would be checking to see if that happened. Asking the companies that took me down to give them the records of how many times they got flagged before they were taken down. Because I bet you it'd be just an easy click to print it out. Because I want to know if that's true. I want to know if there was an increase in reports to InfoWars, not only now. They're saying not only on YouTube, Facebook, and on Twitter and all those places, but also to their website. Doesn't it make sense? Doesn't it make perfect sense? A conspiracy pops up. Dubious, to say the least. Baits InfoWars to let them on the show. Steals a massive portion of their audience, or at least gains. So because they still probably watch InfoWars, but also now watch these guys, right? Then deal the, lethal blow. Try to put Horsey against Jones and split it all up and get people confused and fighting inside while instigating a censorship campaign because, if you get them off YouTube, you just might have a chance with this QAnon thing. Now that you've stolen, because what's their audience going to do if they don't want to download the app or go to the website? Where do they go on YouTube now to see their QAnon and InfoWars and crazy conspiracy-related stuff? Well, Pamphlet already said it weeks ago. Right before he got deleted, right before Jones got deleted, Mr. Rogers says, we're going to be the next InfoWars. Interesting. Says, this was the catalyst to getting Jones taken down. We found a lot of other crazy stuff. I hate to say it, but it's starting to look like a giant paid psyop. Let me go a little further. We're almost done with the Merc email. We're going to get into the other stuff I have for you.